What's going on, everyone? Chris from PickDogs.com here with your weekend morning show. It is Saturday, May 31st, 2025. Full Major League Baseball card to break down today. It's the one WNBA game in Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Got a great group of captains with me today. Ready to break the card down, ready to make everybody some money. So, got, like I said, a lot of action to talk about. Brian, how you doing?
Well, off a 1 and 2 day, but overall the closeout of the month has been good. 35 and 19, 65% last 54. So hopefully you can carry it over today. I'm not wild about the baseball card. I only could find one premium pick on it, but I think there's lots of free picks to give out. That just means more free picks to give out today.
It's what we're here for. It's what everybody's here for. So I'm sure they won't be too sad about that. Kevin, how you doing?
Great start to the weekend, Chris. 3-0 yesterday. And I think me, Brian, and Javon gave out a lot of free winners yesterday on the drive-through. If you tuned into that, I know Brian ended with the Dodgers, and I put a little bit on that after hearing him, and I appreciate that a lot. So let's keep them rolling.
Absolutely, drive-through. I haven't been on it so long. I think that's since Tony changed up the format. He just keep kicking me off. He's like, "We don't need you. You already given up plays out in the morning." So just a retread for me at that point. Jovan, how you doing?
All's well on this side. Just had one play. It hit real in and out operation. Well, actually, no. What happened with that? It was a push. My bad. The day before was a hit. Yeah. So I had Chicago first 5, and it was no score. So it's like I didn't put in the play. But things have been going good, and I've been running hot, and I'm looking to keep it going on Saturday.
Yeah, the only thing that saved me yesterday was the WNBA. A couple of those late plays that Ace's sparks over came through. The Mercury almost pulled it off, but man, the Yankees blew it. A couple teams just not show up. The Rangers decided to actually score more than 3 runs for once in a game. Yeah, it was, but it's okay. It's baseball. You're going to have good days. You're going to have bad days. You can't get too high or too low. You just got to take it day by day. But man, there's some of those days that just kick you in the nuts, especially with the dog days of summer coming up. You got to kind of shake it off while you still can. But we got like I said, the great card today. Full slate of Major League Baseball action. So we get into it.
That's a crappy slate. Wait. It's a full slate. I think it's a crappy slate. I think you're going to see a lot of high-priced money line plays come in today. That's my feeling. That makes me worry. So we'll see.
Got it. So Brian's taking the Mets plus 1.5. Okay, got
it. It's a hot diggity dog.
I can't interest you in Mets plus 1.5 at minus 700.
I'm sure there'll be handicappers out there on other sites that have the New York Mets plus 1.5. That's just how it rolls. Then they'll brag that they won yesterday. That's okay.
Coming off a 1-0 day, yeah. I profited $12 on my $100 bets. No, we don't bet shame here unless you do take the Mets plus 1.5. Then.
Even minus 1.5 is probably minus 200 today. I don't know.
Well, we'll talk about it when we get. Is that even the first time? So we'll see. Now I'm interested. Now you've got my ears perked up to see. Now it's not, but we'll talk about it. We got the first 4. We got the Cubbies at home hosting the Cincinnati Reds. We got Drew Pomeranz, who somehow is paying.
Good old Drew.
Drew Pomeranz against Nick Lodolo. Lefty matchup there. We got the Blue Jays. Braden Fisher getting the start here against Gunnar Hoagland and the Athletics. We got the Brewers, Chad Patrick, and the Phillies sending out good old knock Jesus Luzardo. And the Texas Rangers against the St. Louis Cardinals. Patrick Corbin against Sonny Gray. Brian, like anything here?
Well, like I said, I think we're going to see a lot of heavy favorites win. I think Jesus Luzardo, he's had one bad start. The Philadelphia Phillies at home are always tough. I think you lay -1.5 with the Phillies. I think you come into the money. Sonny Gray here with the St. Louis Cardinals. Patrick Corbin had a nice start to the season, but he's starting to play to the back of his card. So I would go Cardinals money line here, Phillies -1.5 here on a juice day.
Kevin, is there anything you like here?
Yeah, I hate to agree with Brian with the Phillies with Luzardo on the mound. I mean, the guy's been double-digit strikeouts, and we all knew that game last night was going to be a loss for them after a doubleheader with the Braves. I think we'll have Strom and those guys back in the bullpen tonight. Milwaukee, I think they lose their luster here. Give me the Phillies laying the run line. And I look at that under as well, too, because without Harper in that lineup, it's kind of easier to pitch to these Phillies. And after the top three, ain't a lot of pop in that lineup. So I would take the under 8.5 as well.
The only problem with Luzardo is that the rain in the area, what if he goes out there for a couple innings, they have a rain delay, and then you're stuck with the bullpen the rest of the day. But that's my only worry with the Phillies.
The universe.
Just saying.
It's true, though. It's true. I can tell you I've been screwed by rain delays. But I'll tell you, don't say the words Matt Strom with a straight face around me, because that guy gives me bubble guts. Oh my goodness! Every time I see Matt Strom, I pretty much I have my ticket pre-crumpled whenever I see Matt Strom start to walk out towards.
He was injured. He's a good pitcher. He's got some movement on that ball.
That's what I said to my dad the other night. He came in and gave up 2 runs, I think, in his last appearance, but his ERA was about 3.15, I believe, coming into the last appearance.
It's fine. I appreciate you guys taking Jordan Romano off our hands. 7.29 ERA. You're not playing there's no flashing red lights when he goes out for the 9th anymore. But
the only thing Romano I like is Romano cheese. That's about it. Sprinkled on my spaghetti. That's about it.
Yeah.
Ray Romano had that show, the comedy show.
All right.
I'd rather have Jordan Romano than Ray Romano, in fairness. So, Vaughn, what do you like here?
Yeah, we're going with the Cincinnati Reds. We're fading old Drew Pomeranz. Hey, looks like he hasn't had a start since 2019.
Yeah, I saw that. I thought that.
I thought you were going to say like 1974 or something. This is what it feels like.
But listen, he's long in the tooth. He's been on many teams, including my Red Sox. So I know a thing or two about Drew Pomeranz. Look, both of these guys are lefties. Overall, the Cubs hit lefties, but their last 5 they're under the Mendoza line against lefties. So I'm gonna take a shot with the Cincinnati Reds. Nick Lodolo is usually better on the road as opposed to at home. So it's all systems go with me with the Cincinnati Reds. Probably a first 5 play is probably the stronger of the two. Between the first 5 in full game. But, if you don't like taking first 5, I would take a full game as well. Getting some good plus money with that. And it's Saturday, so by default, I'm going to be on the Toronto over. I say it every Saturday, and it keeps on hitting. Or, gets there with a push. But this has been something I've done for the past, I want to say 15 years when the Blue Jays were actually about something in their line, with their lineup.
Yeah, I'll tell you, it's they don't score on a road trip, and then all of a sudden 2 games against the A's they score 23 runs or something like that. So I can get on the over. I wanted to get there with the Blue Jays, but -165 with Braden Fisher is just not something I'm willing to pay. I am going to ride with the Cincinnati Reds, though. Drew Pomeranz, holy crap!
It looks like he's only throwing 1 inning though, because then after that, isn't he only just pitching 1 inning?
One inning may not.
He'll come in for 1.
1 inning may not matter.
And that total tells you everything about the win. So there's going to be a low scoring. Yeah.
So okay. In 2022 in AAA, right after the last season he was in the majors, In 2 appearances for El Paso, he went 1 2/3 innings, 3 runs allowed. In 2023 for AAA El Paso, 2 2/3, 9 runs allowed, a 30.38 ERA. Last year, a 6.0 ERA across 8 appearances, 1 start. He's had since the 2021 season, the last time he was in the majors, at the minor league level, he's had about 30 innings of work. So
he might not make it through the first inning.
he might not make it through the first pitch.
He'll probably get scratched. This is one of those, they'll scratch him right before the game starts.
He throws, he's the opener. There he goes. He's the opener for Ben Brown, but still, he may not even make it. You know what I'm going to take here? The alternate Yerfie, over 3.5 runs in the first inning.
Wow,
smart.
I'm going to find the odds on that because now everybody's saying, like I see those numbers. I know it's the Cincinnati Reds and they could easily get their asses kicked, but we've seen a couple high scoring games between these two teams already this season. I think that that could be a good way to get some plus money, at least some big plus money. But yeah, I definitely like that that Blue Jays over, and the alternate over 3.5 in the first inning is plus 1,300.
wow, Jesus.
Even over 2.5 plus 650. So I'll take a shot on that. Why not? All right, we'll move on to the Baltimore Orioles. Dean Kramer getting the start at home against the White Sox with Davis Martin. We got the Cleveland Guardians, Slade Ciccone starting here against the Angels and Kyle Hendricks. The Mets at minus 360 with Kodai Senga going here against Colorado and Antonio Senzatella. And the Houston Astros with Colton Gordon making his 4th major league start against the Rays and Zach Littell getting the start there. Kevin, what do you like here?
I'm not a fan of Kyle Hendricks, especially on the road here. I know Mike Trout came back for the Angels. Not a lot. I think he had 1 hit at 5 at bats. Cleveland, though, lost that game last night. I'm going to look at this total. I'm looking at this total of 8. I know Cleveland only scored 1 run, but I think Hendricks gives them up here. I don't want to take the run line because this Angels team, for some reason, seems to score runs all over from Zito all the way up. I mean, they can score. That's a pretty good lineup. It's just their pitching I don't trust. So I'll take the over 8 in that one.
Jovan, what do you like here?
Yeah, I've been hammering this play all week basically. Well, a couple times. White Sox first 5. It's been coming through. Got Davis Martin on the mound. He's been pitching well. Going up against Dean Kramer. Now, Dean Kramer, he's a guy that you want to fade on the road. At home, he's better. But in this case, I'm still gonna fade him in this spot. You got a White Sox team coming off where they damn near got shut out. They did, pull out 1 run in the 9th inning yesterday,
bastards.
but it's just one of those things where I think they could get to Dean Kramer, and if you want to take it, plus a half a run, I would fully understand that. But me myself, I like taking I like getting that good plus money, and going for gold. So it's at 135 plus 135 on the money line, I believe. Yeah, that's the only way I would play this game. White Sox first 5 money line.
Yeah, this Mets game's unplayable for me, unfortunately, at this line. I mean, we were talking about the odds earlier in the run line. Best minus 1.5 I have for the Mets is minus 160. And you're even laying runs and odds on minus 2.5. Minus 103 is the cheapest I see. So there's nothing there for me. But yeah, I'd probably go back to the Rockies team total under. If I was playing anything in that one. And I'm going to go with the Rays here. They struggled against a lefty yesterday in Framber Valdez, but you go from Framber Valdez to Colton Gordon. There's still a huge drop off here. Zach Littell, decent option for the Rays. They've won his last 6 starts. I think Littell can have a good start here. Do enough against this Astros lineup, keep them in check. I think the Rays can get to Colton Gordon. They've been hitting lefties really well the last couple weeks, and do enough off of the Astros bullpen to get the win here. I think they're playing the better baseball right now. So give me the Rays plus money. Brian?
Yeah, continuing on my high money line plays that are going to cash today. I like that. Maybe I'm an Orioles sucker, but Dean Kramer, 2.97 ERA last 5 starts. You go back 5 starts, 7 innings pitched, 0 earned runs, 7 innings pitched, 2 earned runs. He had 2 clunkers, and his last time out, he was 5 1/3, 0 earned runs. I just think this White Sox team on the road really doesn't score many runs. If the Orioles can get 3 up there, they should be able to cash that run line. I'll take the -1.5 Orioles. I think the Astros, though, is the highlight of this time slot. You got Colton Gordon in the minors this year, 4.0, 2.55 ERA, 1.20 whip over 42 innings pitched. I like the Astros at home on the money line.
All right, move on to the Marlins. Edward Cabrera going here against the Giants and Robbie Ray. We got the Kansas City Royals, Michael Wacha getting the start for the Royals, and Tariq Skubal getting the start for the Detroit Tigers. The Atlanta Braves, Spencer Schwellenbach going against the Red Sox and Walker Buehler. And the Dodgers, Landon Knack getting the start here against the Yankees and Will Warren. Jovan, what do you like here?
Detroit and KC first 5 under. I think the real question mark in this one is what Michael Walker's going to do in this one. And I would say that, he should have decent enough starters, to contribute to keeping this one under the total in the first 5. Last game, I believe he gave up 4 runs, but prior to that, he gave up 1, gave up 2, didn't give up anything, and then gave up 3. So, he's had a solid year. Moreover, he's had solid starts against Detroit, giving up 2 runs in each of his last 3 outings. So it'll be the under for me in that game, first 5. Take the bullpens out of it. I expect another high-scoring game out of the Yankees and Dodgers. Landon Knack, he knows how to give up home runs. Will Warren, he'll give up some runs. And, you saw it yesterday. Once these lineups get rolling, it's pretty hard to stop them. So 9.5, I think this gets to double digits relatively easy. So give me the over with the Yankees and the Dodgers. Some more sparks in that game. I'll leave the Red Sox in the Atlanta game alone. I'll say this about the Red Sox game. The pitcher matchup it leans heavily towards Schwellenbach, but look, Walker Buehler, he hasn't pitched bad. I'll give it to him. Because his last couple seasons in with the Dodgers, with injuries and everything, he was getting blown up. He hasn't really gotten blown up this year like that. So if you want to take a shot with the Red Sox to, light a fire in their ass and actually win a series, do so. I mean, that's the only way I would play it personally, but I could see anyone who would want to try to back the Atlanta Braves in some form or fashion.
Yeah, I'm rolling with the over 8.5 in that one. You got a Braves team that's hitting 269 against righties in the last 10 against Walker Buehler, who I think can give a couple up. And I'm not the biggest fan of this Boston bullpen. On the other side, you got Spencer Schwellenbach, who's a decent option, but just gave up 4 runs to the Red Sox in his last start against them. I think about a week and a half ago. Now, granted, it was all the damage was done in 1 inning, but the Red Sox are starting to pick it up against righties. And like I said, I think by the end of it, I think we get the over 8.5. I may even just take the over in the first 5 because both bullpens have had a bit of a tight ERA over the last week or so. So maybe first 5 over, lean towards the full game over 8.5. I like the under in Giants Marlins. I think that's a pitcher's duel. You have a Marlins team that's back to looking like the Marlins of old, struggling against lefties. Robbie Ray's been outstanding this season, but the Giants have scored 3 or less in 6 straight. Edward Cabrera, I think, is trending in the right direction. So give me the Marlins there. And I lean towards the Yankees. Get some revenge. Will Warren's been solid. I wasn't a fan of his coming into the season, but I think he's just a much better option over Landon Knack. So I'll take the Yankees at the coin flip. Brian?
Yeah, high juice day. Braves minus 180. It just seems, wow, they're giving Boston plus 150 with Walker Buehler, who used to be a real stud pitcher. I saw him throw 5 strong his last start. And he's got good stuff, but how deep is he going to go? And then it's on to the Boston bullpen. Schwellenbach usually gives you 7 innings. He might give up a few runs. I think you take the Braves minus 1.5 here. I like the Yankees as the better play of the two. I think Chris is right. I think they bounce back, get the win over the Dodgers today. It was slight plus money this morning. Now it's minus 110. I think the Yankees are the play here.
Kevin, what do you like here?
Yeah, you touched on it, Chris, when you talked about the Giants and their lack of runs. So I like Cabrera. I like what he's been getting to. I know he's off a win his last start. So you can get the Miami Marlins. While we were talking, I went on my MGM account. And I took the first 3 innings plus 110. Went back in, took the first 5 innings plus 120 on that. For the whole game, I can't trust Marlins. Bullpen, San Fran, I could see them winning by 1. And it's a little too juicy to take a run line. So I'm looking at those first couple innings there with the Marlins. And I have to agree with Brian. I'll probably have to go to the doctor, get my head checked. But I do like the Yankees as well in a bounce-back win here. I do have Warren in fantasy, but I can't trust to start him against this Dodgers lineup. But I think overall the Yankees prevail in the end.
Nobody cares about your fantasy lineup, mister.
That's how I make all my picks, Brian.
All
my fantasy guys.
I won't lie. I have the over on Will Warren strikeouts today. I think I maxed it out to like 8 strikeouts at plus 430. I don't know. I think he has a decent day. We'll see. Hope so, because it's part of a parlay. God help me. All right, so we'll move on to the last 3 games of the day. We got the Seattle Mariners with Bryce Miller getting the start here, coming back from injury against Bailey Ober and the Minnesota Twins. We got the San Diego Padres with Dylan Cease getting the start here, minus 220 against the Pittsburgh Pirates with Bailey Falter. And to close it out, the Arizona Diamondbacks with Brandon Pfaadt here, minus 200 against the Washington Nationals and Michael Soroka getting the start in this one. I'm gonna roll here with the Pirates plus money. Maybe if you want to take them plus 1.5, you can. But the Pirates still hitting decently against right-handed pitching in the last 2 weeks, especially like the last 10 games. They've been really solid. I mean, 274 against righties in the last 10, 263 in the last 5. I think they can do enough off of Dylan Cease here. The Padres have struggled against lefties, and I am not a fan of Bailey Falter over the years. I haven't been, but in the month of May, a sub-1 ERA, 153 opponents batting average. I think the Pirates are worth a look here. So give me the Pirates plus 180. Brian?
Oh, it's a tough slot here, but I think I'm going to take the Nationals at plus 1.5. I mean, if you bet the Nationals on the money line all year, you'd be up pretty big money. I think they're a team to watch, until the end of the season. They're going to be competitive. I like them better at home than I do on the road, but Arizona's struggling. I think it's a 1-run game, even with Soroka on the mound. I'll take the Nats plus 1.5.
Kevin, what do you like here?
Yeah, Chris, I like these Pirates as well, but I'm gonna take the run line. I think could be a swing either way, but we saw the 3-2 game to begin with. Brian Reynolds, though, that's who I'm looking at for an RBI. Picked him up in fantasy. The guy's been going off. Cashed me 6 times in a row. Had him last night. Woke up this morning with some nice payday on his RBI. The guy, when he's on fire, he's one of the best hitters in the NL contact-wise. So give me Reynolds for an RBI.
Javon, what do you like here?
Pirates, Padres, under first 5, under full game as well. Like you said, Chris, looking at a San Diego Padres team who they can't hit themselves out of the wet paper bag against lefties. And until they show otherwise, I'm expecting them to do the same thing with Bailey Falter. Dylan Cease, big strikeout guy. He should be able to get through this lineup relatively easy as well. It was at 7.5. It bumped up to 8. Hey, all that means is I get an extra half a point as far as I'm concerned. So, if you want to take them full game, do so. I'm definitely going to take them first 5 for the under. These just two under-leaning teams. First 3 games between these two this season have amounted to unders, I believe. So, yeah, it'll be the under for me. Or 3 out of the 4, the last 3 between these two.
All right. I think that does it. I think I started that. So yeah, I did. All right, we'll move on to the WNBA. Only one game on the board on Saturday before we get to Commissioner's Cup action on Sunday. But today we got the Dallas Wings at home, laying 2 against the Chicago Sky. We just saw this matchup 2 days ago. Brian, has anything changed in the rematch? Do you have any thoughts on this one?
I got a premium on the side, but as far as the total goes, I'm going to take the under. Normally, when I see 2 bad teams, I like to lean towards the over here, but this number's pretty high here in the 170s, and I think it's going to stay in the low 160s here, so I'm going to take the under this one.
Kevin, you got anything in this one?
Well, Chris, the big red fucking flag in the room is Paige Buckers being out for this game, right? I mean, Brian don't care about players. I know that. He don't care about that stuff. Chicago Sky figured it out with Ariel Atkins. Getting 2 points is a steal or whatever it's at right now. I mean, I think Chicago wins outright. I don't think Dallas has the forwards to match up with Angel Reese and Cardosa in this one. I know Dallas has the better guards because they got 2 other that can play. But I think Chicago Sky wins outright here, and I'm going to put a prop on Ariel Atkins to go over. I would go 18 on points for her, up to 18. Maybe you probably get 15 right now, but definitely look at her points.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't even notice that Paige Buckers was in concussion protocol till you said that. I just noticed it. Oh, well. Jovan, what do you like here? Anything?
Yeah, I mean, it'll have to be the Sky to just continue to take advantage of this Dallas team. They got their first win against them. I believe they'll get their second win. It made them look good offensively. The Dallas Wings did. I guess, that's all they needed was a team that just has the inability of playing defense, not capable of doing so, to look good. So I expect for them to get the job done once again. That's really the long and the short of it. As far as the over/under, I would those second nights of these mini series is what I'll call them. They tend, I would say they tend to stay under because the 2 teams saw each other the first game and they're more adjusted to what they'll do in that second game. But I want to take the over again. Not too strong on it. It'll be a parlay if anything else. if I would include it into anything. But yeah, that's how I would play it.
Yeah, I'm probably going to lean towards the over here. In fairness, I think that there's little defense being played here. I understand Paige Becker's being out sort of takes away from that, but I think it's telling that the line hasn't really budged. Even with that being the case, I mean, it's still around 172.5. You got a Sky team that hasn't allowed fewer than 91 points in a game this season. You got the Dallas Wings, where the only D that they're associated with is in Dallas. I mean, outside of that, it's been 83, 87, 97, 85, 99. So two teams that can't play defense. The offense is starting to trend upwards for Chicago. I gotta go with the over here. And last but not least, we'll move on to the NBA Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals. We got the Indiana Pacers back home, trying to close out against New York Knicks, or trying to force Game 7. Pacers laying 4, total set at 219.5. Kevin, what do you like here?
Well, it's kind of amazing how much better the Knicks are with Josh Hart coming off the bench. Even though he ends up with starter minutes, it seems like the Robinson Towns can eliminate Turner. He had 2 horrible games since they did that. I know the Pacers did win one of those games. They just need McBride to score a little more for the Knicks bench. Pacers, they were horrible. They didn't play up-tempo last game. But this is all in for New York, and we know their starters can go 45 minutes if they have to. I'm going to take the Knicks plus those 4 points. I'm going to take them to win, because if they don't win it, they're not going to cover 4 points. But I think the Knicks win outright. But take the 4 points if it makes you feel safe.
What's your official pick, Kevin? Money line or the points? You're confusing me.
I'm going to take the points for the show. But on my end, I'm going to bet it money line.
Javon, what do you like here?
Yeah, it'd be the Knicks Pacers over 220. Just like Kevin said, Indy didn't play their game, which is push the rock, play with tempo, play with pace. Don't let the defense get settled in. They were slowing it down from the tip off. That's not like them, So I expect them to make a concerted effort of, speeding things up. Every time they have the ball, they have the plays, they have the conditioning, to do so. And they're gonna really try to, close this one out. Whether that happens or not remains to be seen. But, I can only see this one going one way, and that's over the total. And we all know the Knicks can fill it up against Indy also if they need to, with some of the players that they have.
Yeah, for me in this one, I think Kevin and I are going to have to run the Oklahoma drill, go head-to-head on this one. I'm going to go with Indiana. I'm going to lay the 4. The only thing for me is that it's just I can't see Tyrese Halliburton pulling off his Houdini act for another game in a row. The thing is that Indiana, you've already given New York one lifeline. You can't afford to give them another one here. And if you force Game 7 going back to Madison Square Garden, I don't want to think about that if you're an Indiana fan. The Pacers, though, 4-0 straight up and against the spread off a loss in the playoffs. I got to roll with Indiana here. Like I said, I don't see him having 2 horrible games in a row. But like I said, they're only going to go as far as Tyrese Halliburton takes them. So if he doesn't show up again, we'll see you at MSG on Monday. So give me the Pacers here laying the 4. Brian?
Yeah, I'm going to take the under. Well, it's at 220.5 here on Pinnacle. As series go on, defense intensity gets turned up. And even though these two teams don't specialize in defense, 3 of the last 4 have gone under between these two teams. And I think you look at Halliburton and Towns under their projected points of 22.5 and 21.5 for Halliburton. I think if it goes under, those guys don't get to their over in points. But I do like Brunson over 30.5 for the Knicks. So there, I got 3 picks there, 3 props and the under here for me in that one.
And I'll add something on Brunson. If you're gonna take him, for points over, you're gonna want to ladder it up to 40. It's just one of those things where he's gonna get his shots. I predict he'll get at least 30 shots, and he usually, he'll clear the 25 shots attempted by, with these. So, I think he'll clear that, within 3 quarters. So as long as he's getting those shots up, he's gonna score points. No doubt about that. So ladder it up to 40, get that good plus money. Don't stop at the over at 30 and a half, 31 and a half.
Yeah, I think it's all or nothing for Brunson there. You either take his, he's 40. He's either going to get like 45 points, or he's going to have like 17 on like 4 of 21 shooting. So basically, we gave everybody nothing. We had one guy on the Pacers, one on the Knicks, one on the over, one on the under.
There you go.
But
we all like Brunson's points. That prop, that's a good one. So there you go.
All right, Brian, we're gonna go right back to you. What do you got for sale over at Pick Dogs? We know you got a lot on the board today. It's where we all have our best bets. So what do you got for sale?
My best bet is on the side in that Pacers-Knicks game. My Titanium plays 32 and 21, 60% last 53. I'm on an overall 35 and 19, 65% run across all sports. You can get all 3 of my best bets: one NBA, one WNBA, and one Major League Baseball in my private players 3-pack, $50 at pickdogs.com.
Check out Brian over at Pick Dogs. He's definitely on a nice run for sure. Kevin, what do you have going on over today, Pick Dogs?
Yeah, if you're looking for NBA, I got my pristine wager, and as of yesterday, 131, 86 and 1 since 2023 on these gems. But as the day went on, I found a sunken treasure in the MLB. These are always nice paydays. It's my run line game of the month to finish the month of May strong. So you might want to jump on that. I've been red hot in baseball, so get on that or partner me up with any of these great guys over here because doing some good things, and by just these free winners, I can see we're gonna have a great day. So partner me up with any of these great guys with the 2-for-1 capper deals.
Absolutely. Check out the multi-capper promotion over at Pick Dogs, or just hop on with Kevin, get yourself a long-term pass, and load up for the week. Jovan, what do you got for sale over at Pick Dogs today?
Yeah, I got a game 6 play going. Eastern Conference Finals. I'm on the 8-0 run in the NBA right now, and really I left some winners on the table. Could have been 14-0. Personally, I played all those, but on the premium side, I only played 8 of them. So looking for number 9. Running hard in the NBA, running hard in MLB as well. So yeah, jump on board.
Jump on with Jovan over at Pick Dogs. And for me today, I got my $15 MLB pickoff play. Dropped it yesterday with the Yankees, but I'm going to come back strong on it today. I really like the play I got there. And I also got a 5-pack on the board for Major League Baseball. I have a bonus play on there for MLB and for the NBA for long-term subscribers as well. So if you hop on a long-term pass, 3-day all the way up to a yearly pass, you can get those bonus plays today. Longer term you hop on makes the plays a lot less, and we have still, I know we're entering the dog days of summer, we still got action all week. We got MLB daily, we got WNBA more often than not, and we're still going to have the Stanley Cup Finals and the NBA Finals as well. So
CFL this week,
and the CFL's popping up, yeah, for sure. But yeah, got all that over at Pick Dogs. So pair any of us up. You can actually go 4-for-1 if you wanted. Pair all of us up as part of a multi-capper promotion. But whatever you guys do, use that promo code PICK at checkout. Get 15% off your purchase. But it's that time of the show. Parlay time. See if we can make some money with some parlays today. Brian, what do you like?
I'm going to take the under 172.5 in the WNBA. The Houston Astros on the money line, and then the under in the NBA game at 220.5.
Kevin, what do you have for a parlay?
We just talked about Jalen Brunson. I found it at over 35 points, plus 165. I like that. I'm going to partner that up with the Phillies laying the run line, and then the Yankees money line.
Jovan, what do you like here?
We will go with Cincinnati Reds, Boston Red Sox. Nice plus money parlay. And we will go with the Sky and Wings over, match it up with the Knicks and Pacers over.
And for me, to close it out, we'll go with the Cincinnati Reds, Chicago Cubs year fee. We got the over in Blue Jays Athletics and the team total under for the Colorado Rockies. All right. That's it. That's all. Guys, got anything else before we head out of here?
Take the Panthers to win the Cup. Oilers going down. Tell Rod. No more Oilers.
Okay, so that's enough out of Brian. Anyone else? No. All right. Well, appreciate each and every one of you for joining us today. Brian, Kevin, Jovan, I appreciate you guys joining me. And we'll see you guys bright and early next. If any of you guys are here on Sunday, I am not here tomorrow. I am going to be watching the back of my eyelids for a few hours. So definitely looking forward to that. But we'll see you guys. I'll see you guys on Monday. But these guys will all see you throughout the week on the drive-through. And appreciate you guys. Make it a winning day.